everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to do a little bit more on circumference and diameter and radius of a circle. So on this first problem here, okay, I want you to look at these wagon wheels and the propeller, and then I guess that's an orange. It says here are some measurements. The wagon wheel is 3 feet, the plain propeller is 24 inches, the slice orange is 20 centimeters, okay? And so it's showing you here, here's a tape measure. I know it's kind of hard to see, and then tape measure going around. So it says for each picture what measurement is shown. So it's saying the wagon wheel is 3 feet. So this is where it's showing the picture. So the wagon wheel, that's showing me the diameter from one side through the center to the other. So wagon wheel is showing the diameter. Okay, make sense? All right, if I look at the plain propeller, that's showing me from the center of the propeller to one side. So the plain propeller that it's giving me, the 24 inches it gave me at the top here, is showing me the radius. Is showing the radius. And then the last one, the orange, it is showing me it measured around the outside of the orange, so that's showing me the circumference. Okay? So it's just showing you the different measurements that you can use, okay? The second part says, based on this information, what measurement could you estimate for each picture? Okay, I can estimate, well, I could get the actual radius on this one, okay, if I know the diameter. So if the diameter, this is the wagon wheel. I should have done that in green because I did the wagon wheel in green. I'm going to put WW for wagon wheel so we know what that means, okay? So if the diameter, it's telling me that the diameter is 3 feet, I could figure out the radius, which would be half of that because 2 radiuses make up 1 diameter. And I could also estimate the circumference. So the circumference would be the diameter times pi. So 3 times 3.14. And that gives me, what is it, 9.42. Okay, so from the diameter, I could find the other 2 things. Same with the propeller. If it gives me the radius, okay, it gave me the radius of 24 inches. Okay, if I want the diameter, it's 2 radiuses, so that would be 48 inches. And if I want the circumference, I would do the diameter times pi. Remember, that's diameter times pi. This is 2 radiuses. Okay, so I would do, and I would use a calculator for that. I would do 48 times 3.14 times 3.14. I'm using my iPad here. Oops, that didn't work. So I would do 48, just using the iPad calculator if you want to see what I'm doing, times 3.14, and I get 150.72. Okay? 150.72 inches. Or not inches. Is it inches? Yeah. Okay, and then same thing for the orange. I know the circumference, so that one's a little bit harder. So I know the orange. I know the circumference is, what did it tell me, 20 centimeters. I know the diameter is equal to circumference divided by pi. Remember when we did that the last video? So I would take the circumference, which is 20. Oops, just dropped my book. So I would do 20 divided by pi. And I would get about, I'm going to round it to about 6.4, okay? So I'd say the diameter is about, that means about 6.4 centimeters. And then if I wanted the radius, 2 radiuses make up 1 diameter, so I would divide that by 2. So that would be about 3.2 centimeters. So what it's showing you is that from one bit of information, you can find all the other stuff, okay? All right, on this side, we're not gonna do this whole thing. We're gonna do this page, but so we're gonna kind of do the same thing. It says, in the previous activity, we looked at pictures of circular objects. I'm not gonna assign you an approximation for pi. We're gonna use 3.14. So we're gonna say pi, we're gonna use 3.14, okay? It's the most commonly used one. So we just did this. I knew if the diameter was 3 feet, this is half of a diameter. So remember we said this was 1.5 feet, and then the circumference, I did the diameter times pi, and that's where I came up with 9.42. We just did this, so I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on this, okay? Feet. Same thing here, we said they gave us the radius, it was 48 because a radius is, oops, let me do this backwards. Diameter is 2 radiuses, okay? Or a radius is 1/2 of a diameter. So then we did 48 times 3.14, and I forgot what I got, so I gotta look back because I don't feel like reading. Oh yeah, I do. 150 point something, right? 150.72. Okay, and then we went to this one where we said, okay, well now I know the circumference, so in order to find the diameter, I had to do circumference divided by pi. Okay, and that's where I gotta look at my 6.4 about. I had to round that because it's a big huge number. And then if I want to find the diameter and go back to the radius, I take half of that. Okay, so we kind of did the same thing a little bit twice. All right, this one says, so we're going to use that information to figure out a bug on the propeller blade. So this says a bug was sitting on the tip of a propeller blade when the propeller started to rotate. The bug held on for 5 rotations before flying away. Okay, how far did the bug travel? So let's put down what we know. The propeller, the radius was 24 inches. That means the diameter, remember we just did that, was twice the radius, which is 48 inches. And then we figured out the circumference as diameter times pi, which was 150.72 inches, okay? So we had already figured out that information up here. Now it says the bug was sitting on the tip of the propeller. So if here's my propeller, my great drawing, he was sitting here. He got stuck for 5 rotations. So what would I do? 1 rotation is a circumference. So I would actually, my formula would be 5 times diameter times pi, okay? We already figured the diameter times pi out. So 5 times 150.72. And then I would multiply that out, okay? Which I gotta do on my, I'm gonna clear that. This thing's coming out. No way, how calculate. So I would do 5 times, I don't know, they're up there. 5 times 150.72. And he went 753.6 feet. So that poor little guy held on for a while. Okay, so that's just kind of using your information in when they talk about how many rotations something is, that's what it's asking you. How many, if I had 5 rotations, I'm going to take 5 times the circumference. Okay? All right, this page we're not going to do. That's way involved. This one we're just going to look at, and I don't think I'm going to do the whole thing. We're just going to look at how we would do this, okay? I might do it. We'll see. So this one said, Kieran bent some wire around a rectangle to make a picture frame. The rectangle is 8 inches by 10 inches, okay? So I know that this part's 8 inches. This is how I would figure this out. This part is 10 inches, okay? Now, what I need to figure out is the diameter. So the way I would do that, or I could look at radius, it wouldn't matter. But if I were to figure out the diameter of one circle, okay? I have got 1 diameter, 2 diameters, 3 diameters, 4 diameters, and I have a half of one here and a half of one here. So I have 5 diameters. Does that make sense? I had 1 here in this circle, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. I had a half and a half. If I wanted to look at radiuses, I would have said I have 1 radius, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, if I have 10 inches divided by 5 diameters, I get each diameter is 2 inches. Okay, so that would be the first thing I need to figure out. I would also make sure that this worked here. So that means I should have, if each diameter is 2 inches, that's 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches, 7 inches because it's a radius, 8 inches. So that works. Okay, so if I want to find the perimeter of the picture frame, it is literally a bunch of circumferences. Okay, now here's what I need to do. If I wanted to figure this out, I have to figure out how many full circles I have. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to count half circles. Okay, and I'm just going to look at the circumference. So each half circle is 1. So that'd be 1 half circle, 2, 3, 4. I'm not going to count this yet. 5, 6, 7. Not going to count that one. 8, 9, 10, 11. Not going to count that one. 12, 13, 14. I have 14 half circles, which means I have 7 circles. Okay, I had 14 half circles, that makes 7 circles. Now what I would do is I have 3/4 circles are my other ones. That's 1 3/4 circle, 2 3/4 circle, 3 3/4 circle, 4 3/4 circles, 4 times 3/4 of a circle. These would cross reduce, I get 3 circles, okay? Which gives me a total of 10 circles. 7 circles plus 3 circles gives me 10 circles. So I need to know, because it's kind of on the outside, the circumference of 10 circles. How do I find circumference? Diameter times pi, and I need 10 of them. Okay? We've already figured out the diameter, which was 2 inches. We did that up here. So I would say 10 times 2 times 3.14, which is 20 times 3.14, which is 6.28 times 6.28, 62.8. So this would give me 62.8 inches. That would be the perimeter of that. Okay, so what I did, just kind of going back, is first I counted my half circles just because it was easier. Okay, then I converted it into whole circles. If there's 14 half circles, that means there's 7 whole circles. Then I said, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 3/4 circles. 4 times 3/4 is 3. That gave me a total of 10 whole circles. Then I just got to find the circumference of that. So I did 10 circles times diameter times pi, and I got 62.8. Okay. Now the second question, and the last one I'm going to do here, if the wire picture frame were stretched out to make 1 complete circle, what would its radius be? Okay, so it's saying all these are stretched out to be 1 complete. Well, I know the circumference was 62.8. I know diameter is equal to circumference divided by pi. Okay, so I would do, but I want the radius, right? I don't want the diameter, I want the radius. So I'm going to figure out the diameter first. So if I kind of look backwards, if I did 62.8 divided by 3.14, I'm going to get what was left over, which is going to be, I did 62.8 divided by 3.14, and I should get 20, about that, right? And then that's the diameter. My radius is half of that. So my radius of a big circle would be 10. Okay, so it's just taking information you do know and kind of putting it all together to make whatever you want to make out of it. Okay, so I just kind of have to know that one diameter is 2 radiuses. I need to know that circumference is diameter times pi. Okay, and then I can figure out a whole bunch of stuff from there. All right, we're not doing that one, right? So this is just your lesson summary that kind of gives you all the formulas I just said. Okay, remember these are the same formula. Circumference is pi times diameter. Circumference is 2 pi r because 2 radiuses is 1 diameter. They're the same formula. Okay. All right, the other formula you're going to need for the homework today is the triangle formula in case you forgot it. It's base times height divided by 2. There's a problem that is going to give you a triangle problem. It's going to ask you to find the area of a triangle in a half circle. Now, if I know a whole circle, so a half circle, if I know the circumference of a whole circle is pi times diameter, the circumference of a half circle is going to be the circumference divided by 2. Okay. All right, you should be good to go with that. If you have any questions, you let me know by email. I don't have any little animal friends helping me out today. They're all sleeping downstairs, so I hope you guys have a fantastic day.